Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is Mr. R, your resident gaming dad, and today we are going to talk about a new camo grinding strategy that is available for you on Citadel Daymore. It's actually not super new. It's kind of been around for a while, but you can do this both on directed mode and standard mode pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys today exactly how to do this, and we're going to go ahead and get started here. So for augments, there are a couple that I would highly suggest that you bring in with you, okay? So for your Vulture, you're going to want to make sure that you turn on Picky Eater because you're going to be going through lots of Molotovs. And for Deadshot, I suggest that you put on Dead First, which is going to deal double critical damage if an enemy is at full health. These are both going to be super helpful for you throughout this process. So go ahead and put those on, and then you're going to want to have Molotovs on as well, and of course a weapon that you need to get camos on. So this strategy is pretty straightforward. Like I said, you can do it on both directed mode and on standard mode as well. I'm going to show you the strategy on directed, but it's just as easy to set up on standard. And if you do it on standard, you can use it to grind for Nebula and other things, so you'll get a lot more of like the elite zombies and things. But doing it on standard or on directed rather, is a little bit easier just to get like the most amount of zombies possible. So if you guys don't know, with directed mode, there has been a change where the time between rounds is like significantly increased. So it's not really viable to do just the hang out forever on the same round and just let the zombies spawn in and come to you, because at some point you're waiting 30, 45, almost a full minute between rounds, and it takes way too long. It's still possible to do directed mode strategies that way, but it's going to take you far longer than you want it to. We're going to go ahead and show you a strategy today that's going to speed up that process quite considerably. Of course, the first thing that you're going to need to do is go ahead and open up everything. So you're going to need to open up all the way to the Pack-a-Punch, get Pack-a-Punch ready to go, and then that's when the strategy is really going to start. And I'm using the AMR sniper. I barely have any camos done on this. I have like 200 headshots or something like that, so I'll be able to show you just how fast this method is for headshots once we get set up here in the next couple of minutes. Now, my suggestion is if you're doing a sniper, you probably should set this up using a different weapon. So I spawned in with the AMR because you can't get it out of the box right now. This is the only way to have this gun in zombies. But if you're trying to set this method up, it's going to be easier to do it with another gun. So just take a little bit of your points and buy something off the wall, so it's a little bit easier to kill the doppelgast and all that. I don't think that that's easy to do with a sniper, although if you wanted to do it with a sniper, you could just do it that way. So you're going to want to go ahead down and open up the Pack-a-Punch, and then that's kind of where our next step sort of begins here. Okay, so we got Pack-a-Punch opened up, and now we're going to go ahead and head back into the courtyard here, and I'll show you the next step to go ahead and get this set up. Okay, so this method is pretty similar to one that we set up in the past, but with some minor adjustments, and I forgot one major step here, of course, which is to go ahead and talk to Craft so that we can have access to some of the other Easter egg steps, which we no longer have access to at the moment. So once you've talked to Craft, you can actually get started with this. Now, we have some zombies running around here, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, but basically the first step to getting started with this method is to start the light sword upgrade that we typically do during the Easter egg, and it's the same as the other method that I had described in a few videos ago, but we're going to do a couple of other things that are going to make this even better. So your first step is to shoot all these little light things, And once you shoot the final one there, it will illuminate this little section here, which will allow you to pick up this Paladin's Brooch. Now, the thing that makes this so good in directed mode, particularly, is that while we're in directed mode, we're going to have a long time between spawns of the different, between the different rounds if you're repeating rounds over and over and over again. But once we activate that step in there, it's going to make it so that we have like a pretty consistent flow of zombies forever. And on top of that, there's a couple other things that we can use in order to make this very, very good. So we're going to show that to you in just a second. We're going to go ahead and start this up here. So once you place down the brooch, you'll see a bunch of zombies start spawning in, and they're going to spawn in at that same rate, and they're going to run that same speed forever. So zombies are going to spawn in there and chase you out here, and what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the oil trap, and this is where you need to have your Molotovs, okay? So you're going to head over to an oil trap, and you can see we've got zombies coming out after us this whole time. You're going to turn on the oil trap, run out, stand in this corner, and toss a Molotov. And that didn't work out in our favor because we're getting hit by the fire now. But if you toss the Molotov in the corner there, you won't get hit by the fire. But you can see that we're getting kills right now, and they're all counting as critical kills. And all of these critical kills count towards the weapon that you have in your hand. And once the fire runs out here, you can just run over to the other side and rinse and repeat. When you get to the other side, just turn on the trap, jump up on the ledge here, toss a Molotov, and let the magic happen. And as you can see, we just have zombies flowing in at basically an endless rate. And every zombie that walks in is going to light on fire and die. And we're getting tons of XP. We're getting camos. We're getting challenges. We're getting everything complete for this gun. Just literally by standing here and letting the zombies walk into this fire trap. And then once that fire goes away, you can jump down, pick up any stuff that's here. Try to pick up as much as you can. This is why you should have that Vulture Raid augment on, because that's going to hopefully make it so that you don't have to buy any Molotovs or anything. You should get enough Molotovs spawning in that you shouldn't have to buy any. You can just run over to the other side and then, again, rinse and repeat. Now, the most important thing to take note of here is that this method works great. The one thing that is a little bit of a challenge with it is that the thing that's going to determine how strong your critical kills are is essentially how strong your weapon is. So if you're doing this in directed mode, right now we're on round 10 and we're going to be on round 10 forever, so we don't really have to do anything special. But if you were to go into a regular game, it's going to be a little bit more challenging because you then have to also essentially make sure that you're keeping your weapon upgraded as well. So you'll have to run out and pack a punch and buy perks and all that good stuff. But you should be able to pretty much in directed mode just let it ride and it'll take out all the zombies with relative ease for the majority of the rounds that you'll go through. So now this has actually been in the game for kind of a while, but people haven't talked about it much. So I would suggest that you take advantage of this while you can, but I don't know that it will ever get patched out because, like I said, this has been in the game for kind of a while now. So I'm convinced that it will stay a viable method for quite a while. But again, if you want to take advantage of this, I suggest that you do it now, because now that people are starting to talk about it, it's not going to last forever. And if you do this on standard, this is actually a really good strategy for high rounds as well. It really takes all the zombies out, and as long as you stay upgrading your weapon for as long as possible, you will have no problem making it to round 100 and maybe even further. But this has been a strategy that I've seen a couple of people use to get a pretty easy round 100 on this map. So if you're interested in trying that out, I would definitely keep that open as an option as well. Now, there is one huge benefit to doing this on standard versus directed mode, okay? You can use this method to do all of the camos in zombies, not just Mystic Gold, but you can also use it for Opal and Afterlife and Nebula as well. But in order to be as effective as possible, you're going to want to do this on standard so that you can have amalgams and doppelgasts and things spawning. Or at least if you want to get the special kills out of the way as well for Opal. If you want to get the special kills out of the way for Opal, you should make sure that you are at least progressing the Easter egg to round 12 so that you can do that as well. But folks, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's super easy, it's super fast, it's very easy to set up, and you'll be racking up camos and XP like nobody's business. You'll be cooking through it for sure. If you follow the steps in this video, you'll have no problems at all. Of course, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for the support on the videos lately. We do have a little bit of a way to go still. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers so you can get that monetization on the channel. Check out some of the other videos on the channel if you have time. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. This has been Mr. R, and we'll see you in the next one.